poppin', y'all? It is your boy Guard E3, and welcome to Coffee and Sports, the morning show. Of course, joining us just like every morning, he is the pillar of the morning show. He is Mo Betta. How you doing, Mo?
Hey, what's good, Brett? Will, welcome, chat. Let's get it.
Alrighty, and of course, joining us this fine morning, he is the host of the Sports Report, William Morgan. How you doing, sir?
How you doing today, fellas? Host of the Sports Report and the King of Late Night. How y'all doing?
That's what's up.
Hey, fair enough. I do like them late nights, so. Alrighty. Well, we got a lot to talk about today. I mean, probably just start off with the NBA. We have a couple of games announced. They announced the Christmas Day slate. They announced the MLK Day slate, and the opening night slate. So why don't we start with the opening night slate? Apparently, cool. We are starting out the season with Houston and Oklahoma City, and Golden State against the Lakers. So, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you guys for those games?
Oh, I'm here for it.
Good morning, Jerry. How you doing?
Good morning, Jerry.
What's up, Key? What's going on?
Kyle, what's going on, all? Look, I'm excited for those games. I do want to see the new look Lakers. Excited to see what Houston could do because of the addition of KD. And I want to see the continued development of Ausar Thompson. So I'm excited.
Like I told Mo, I'm not ready to anoint Houston just yet. I'm not ready to do it. I want to see them boys go out there and actually do the thing before I give them any type of anointing per se. I'm not ready to put the crown on their head just yet.
No, I agree. I have as many questions as you do because I think KD serves a need in Houston. They didn't have a closer.
Nope.
He's built his reputation on being one of the great closers. If he can give them that, then Houston is going to be a legitimate threat in the West. But do I think that makes them the front runners in the West? I think the front runners in the West are the defending champions until somebody proves otherwise.
Yep, I agree.
Hey, you know what? They may as well throw in Philly on opening night. That might be the one night we see them all healthy together. Maybe.
Well, until the end of the game, like somebody's going down.
Boy, I wonder if you're gonna get Joel Embiid. I'm not playing back-to-backs. Not this season, no. I'm not playing back-to-backs.
Speaking of which, did anybody see NBA.com? And Brett probably, because Brett stays on top of stuff like this. So NBA.com did the 10 best players in the Western Conference. This is who they project to be the top 10 best players in the West. Did anybody see that list?
I didn't.
Yeah, I actually did not. I saw the East version, but I didn't see the West version.
I thought the West was interesting only in that when you have to preface your rankings by saying taking injuries out of it, then your rankings are already flawed. So if you've got Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard in your top 10 and you have to preface it with taking injuries, you can't take injuries out of it because the history of both players say they're going to miss time.
What did
So I would have had Devin Booker in the top 10. I thought it was shocking that Devin Booker wasn't in the top 10.
All right, here we go. Here's the list that Mo's talking about. We got, all right, Jokic. All right, yep. I'll take Jokic. SGA, valid. Anthony Edwards. Okay.
Yep.
Luka on Ozempic. Okay, fair enough. Steph Curry. AD. KD. Yeah. Okay. Kawhi Leonard. LeBron James. And Wemby. Okay.
You're mad as hell right now. Yeah, LeBron done made it on that list, girl. LeBron made it.
Oh. You know, I
You know what? LeBron he should be on the list more than AD or Kawhi.
I agree with that because 9 times out of 10 he's gonna play over 75 games. 9 times out of 10.
Right. So he does have availability. His numbers are consistent.
Mhm.
And he's still playing at a high level. I'm not
Right.
saying that Kawhi or AD doesn't play at a high level. I'm saying they're not available to play a lot of times at a high level. Kawhi Leonard's getting ready to be 34 years old. He's the best player and probably the oldest team in basketball. What are the odds that multiple players on that Clippers team doesn't miss at least 15 to 20 games, including Kawhi Leonard? Like,
Right.
if you're going to take the betting odd that Kawhi Leonard is going to play 65 games this season, I'm taking the under big time.
That's the ARP of the NBA. That's exactly what that is.
Brett, if you were going to replace somebody on that list, what 2 players would you replace?
I'd probably replace Kawhi just because I don't think he'll be healthy enough for it to really matter, and Anthony Davis as well. Because once again, I don't think he'll be. I'm not sure if he'll be healthy enough to really factor into this one. Both very talented players. I think Kawhi is the first one I would replace for sure, and Anthony Davis I'm a little more hesitant, but say either way, I do think that all because that it's a dumpster fire in Phoenix. I think it's kind of a sham that Book isn't on here. Anthony Edwards was on the list.
Right. And look, Phoenix had a horrible season last year. But amidst that horrible season, people forget Book played 75 games.
Yeah, he did.
Averaged 25 points and 7 assists. Like, he was the best thing on that team consistently. It's not his fault that he was surrounded by a bunch of what ifs. Like, to me, I think Devin Booker is definitely a top 10 player in the West.
So, did you see what the Bosnian coach he called out Jusuf Nurkic? By the way, Book's starting center for half the year. He talking to reporters, he said that Nurkic is out of shape and can barely run. And I'm like, oh wow,
he wasn't that good when he wasn't that good when he was in shape.
I was going to say same thing.
He wasn't that good when he was in shape.
He had that like fine first year in Phoenix, and it's just all downhill after that.
Trash ever since.
I'll say this: I'll give the Nuggets coaching staff and their trainers a lot of credit. People forget there was a time when the Nuggets had both Joker and Nurkic early on was considered the better player. And they had to make a decision, and that coaching staff was like, no, we got no problems trading Nurkic. Like, they knew something that a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, apparently, what's funny? Apparently, one of the biggest reasons that they picked Jokic was a random analytics guy. He put two player stats together, and it was they were very comparable, and apparently it was Jokic and Larry Bird when they were both young, so using advanced analytics and everything. So apparently some random advanced analytics guy is the reason that Jokic is still in Denver and not Nurkic.
Well done, nerd. Look, I think analytics has a lot of value. It's not the end all to be all when you're evaluating players, but it does have value. And if that's the case, that story that Brett just told, 1, that's an amazing story. And 2, you couldn't give that guy enough money for what he did for the Nuggets franchise by making that decision. Because had they gone the wrong way, they would have already been in the lottery a couple of times.
Oh yeah, hey, and that's kind of a fun what if too, because then let's see, we'd probably have a Dame Jokic duo earlier back when Nurkic got traded to Portland,
right?
Because then Portland just turns around and trades for Jokic.
How scary would that be?
What was the Eastern Conference list?
The Eastern, I'll let me pull it up for you. I got it. I remember. Let's see. Remember, Giannis was on there. I just can't remember if Embiid was on there. Well, granted, if it's health permitting, then he absolutely was on there. There we go. It's loading up for you. Okay.
So I'm sure Brunson's on there. Giannis is on there. Those are easy ones.
Yeah.
Yep. Donovan Mitchell.
D. Mitch is gone. Tatum's out of the equation. Halliburton's out of the equation. So my guess, my boy Cade Cunningham would be on there.
Trae Young?
Trae Young would be on there, right?
Caden Bancaro.
Okay,
Yep.
that's definitely.
There's
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, Evan Mobley, Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, and Trae Young.
Yeah, I'm taking Embiid off. He's in the
Big time taking him off.
same category as Kawhi and AD availability.
Yep.
By the way, did you guys see the debate raging on Twitter with who would you rather build the team around, Trae Young or Derek White? Listen, I just got to throw this out there. I love great two-way players on championship teams. At the bright side, that doesn't mean they're all guys you build your team around, like Trae
Right.
Young has been able to do. Like
Right.
Derek White is the first option. Yeah, the Hawks have already been in the lottery multiple times.
I like Derek White, but
do too.
I like him as a piece playing alongside a superstar.
Right.
If he's your best player, you're not
Well,
in the playoffs. You're not a contender. So I get how people go, well, he's better than Trae Young. Trae Young has the responsibility of being the centerpiece, the franchise player. That's something Derek White, as much as I like him, will never have. So he's free to play elite defense and be able to be a catch and shoot guy. But they're not the same. They're not built the same. If you switch them out right now, Atlanta might make the playoffs or they might make the lottery.
I do love Derek White, though. He's a great teammate, knows his role, knows his responsibilities.
Agreed.
I love Derek White. But as a number one, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a crazy argument going on Twitter. Wow.
That's an argument?
Yeah, no, there
Wow.
were legitimately people saying that Derek White would be a better number one option than Trae Young, and I was like, no.
No. But he's a great complimentary piece. I'll give him that.
Absolutely a winning player. I think there's great value in players like Derek White, Drew Holiday. Those are winning players, but they can't be your centerpiece guys.
Right.
I don't even think Derek White could be the second best player on a title winning team. I think the role that he is on the Celtics, I believe he's the third or fourth best player, but that's about where he should be.
Yep.
Anything more than that, then you're pushing the envelope. And this is not to kill Derek White. Like I said, I'm a huge fan, but you're trying to put a guy who's a complimentary player up against a guy that literally has to carry his franchise. They don't have the same responsibilities.
Nope.
Look, I'm not a huge John Morant fan. But you know what I'm not going to say? I'm going to let Memphis would be so much better off with Derek White. I don't believe that.
I'm not a huge Trae Young fan, but to go back what Mo was saying, he is carrying the responsibility of the franchise. So I get it.
I'd say I think a testament to just how solid, great Trae Young actually has been is, the fact that Atlanta is just always in the playoffs every year still, like regardless, like they've changed that roster a lot, and somehow Trae just keeps at least even taking them to the play-in, and most years he gets them at least to the first round. And there are some of those teams I'm just looking at them like, this team shouldn't be here. Like this team should have, be in Cancun already. But there they are, getting swept by the Celtics in the first round. So there is some value to that.
I'll say this about Trae Young, whether you like his playing style or not. If the Hawks give Trae Young one more guy, I'm just talking about one guy that can give you 20 on a given night consistently, they're in the playoffs and they're going to be a scary team. Like I like Jalen Johnson, and hopefully he can come back healthy. And he might be able to be that guy. They have a couple other young pieces on there, but being 100%, this is about basketball. If the Hawks have a second 20-point scorer who can give Trae Young some relief, they're going to be a scary team in the East.
Kyle says he started the debate. Yeah, you know what? Tracks.
Kyle's wild. Kyle is wild.
Yeah, and obviously,
Facts, jury. Facts. Facts.
I think
That's
the
so
biggest,
true.
I'd say, I think you more so with Trey Young, you got to give him more guys that can operate off the ball better.
Facts.
You're looking at I think that was the biggest problem with him and DeJounte because DeJounte also doesn't really move off the ball, and
No.
Trey Young isn't good off the ball. So I think you got to, like, if you want to give him, like, almost like a second 20 a game score, I think it's a great idea, but you have to make sure that's somebody who's comfortable playing off the ball, kind of like how, prime, like, Paul George was perfectly fine being
Indiana
off the
Paul
ball for a
George.
long stretch. Exactly, like
Indiana
Indiana or
Paul
Oklahoma
George.
City. Like,
Yep.
But if you look at the short sample size they had with Jalen Johnson was that he moved well off the ball. He cut back door. He wasn't somebody that just camped out at the 3-point line and waited for the ball to come to him. So the thing that people forget about Trey Young, again, whether you like his playing style or not, Brett, you pointed this out. He creates so many open looks for players. Now, it's not on him. He can't make them make the shots.
Right.
But he's actually a terrific creator for teammates. He's just got to get guys that can make teams pay for coming down and trying to clamp down on him. Like, he has his flaws, right? We can all agree he gives you nothing on the other side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he can be a little bit overly ball dominant. But in this current era of basketball, 5 of your top leading scorers are ball dominant players.
But
So that's nothing new what's going on.
But do we really? How much can Trey Young take accountability for the fact he's really the only player on his own team that can create his own shot? I mean, you have to better roster, and health is something you just can't see, but better roster construction and put guys around him that fits his skill set would be the best way to go for the Hawks.
No, I agree. But you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. That argument, you can use that argument with Luka,
Yep.
And a few other guys that they're ball dominant, but they're ball dominant because only one other guy maybe can create their own shot, right? Consistently. Now in the Lakers, that's different because Austin Reeves can get his own shot, LeBron can get his own shot. But I'm just saying that in the past, that was the struggle. If you're the only guy that can create your own shot, that's added pressure on you to do more for your teammates. Yep. And I think the Hawks initially, Brett, you can point this out or agree or not agree. When they brought in DeJounte Murray, the idea was, well, DeJounte can get his own shot. That's going to help Trey Young out. But the problem was DeJounte, when Trey Young had the ball, he just stand there in the corner. He didn't do anything because he didn't know how to play off the ball. That's the struggle when you play with a ball dominant player. Like, I don't deny Trey Young's talent, but I don't think he's an easy guy to play with.
No, a lot of guys like Trey Young who just dominate the ball like that just aren't very easy guys to play with, and that's almost why, like, the Knicks had the right idea, just getting a lot of long and lanky wings that can defend and just play, really well off the ball, and Karl Anthony Towns can play off the ball. So players like that are so tough, but the reward can be very high. So, hey, I agree, Kyle. I don't think Trey Young's going to be the number one on a championship team, but I give him credit where credit's due. He's carried a lot of random rosters to the playoffs.
100%. On that, we will agree. There are a lot of great ball-dominant players, but when you really break them down, could they be the best player in the championship team? No, I don't think Trey Young is going to lead you to an NBA Finals berth. That said, look at the Knicks. I'm glad you brought them up. They do it in different ways, but Jalen Brunson's a ball-dominant player too.
Yep.
Brunson's he's as ball-dominant as Trey Young is, even though they do it differently. So the question is, if you don't believe Trey Young can be the best player on a title-winning team, does that apply to Jalen Brunson as well?
Now that's an argument. That's a debate.
I'd say I don't think Trey Young will ever be the number. I mean, not Trey Young. I don't think Jalen Brunson will ever be the number one on a championship winning team. But I definitely think that I definitely think he has a chance. But I don't think he ever gets it done in New York.
My problem is his size. I mean, at least you got with Brunson, you got a little bit of bolt behind him. Can take a little bit of punishment, but Trey is short and lean, so to
Yeah.
speak. There's really no muscle on him, and he already look. We already know on the other end of the back, on the other side of the floor, he's not giving you any type of defensive productivity whatsoever. We already know this. So, he's small, he's slender. Offensively, it has to be his ticket for him to be successful. It has to be.
Well, with Jalen Brunson, he's built like Ronnie Lott, so he's good to go. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
like he gives as good as he gets.
Oh yeah.
But look, yeah, this is not to rain on any Knicks fans parade because I think Jalen Brunson is sensational, especially where he came from. People forget that he was a second round pick. That is wild. That's wild. But I agree with Brett. I think Jalen Brunson can absolutely help you win a title. I'm one of those people that I don't know if he can be the best player on a title winning team. I don't know because I think a lot of, even though I think in a lot of ways the same things that we apply to Trae Young. I don't know why Trae Young gets more criticism, but let's keep it a buck. As much as we all love Jalen Brunson, he's not a great defender either.
Nope.
Like he's not a plus defender either. So
Nope.
they're very similar, and yet one gets a lot more criticism than the other.
Yeah, it's funny too. I think half the problem with the Knicks just isn't even Jalen Brunson. I think half the problem is Jalen Brunson defensively. I think that'll always be a issue for him. But I think the problem, like as great as it is offensively pairing Jalen Brunson and Cat, they also really can't play together in clutch time 90% of the time because, well, we saw every single series. So what would teams do? They're just targeting, Brunson and Cat in the pick and roll. And it worked marvelously. Like, teams were absolutely obliterating the Knicks when that would happen. So I think it'll be interesting. We'll see if Mike Brown's able to, I guess, find a scheme that can, fit them both better. Tibbs couldn't pull that off, but yeah, no, somebody's got to get better in pick and roll coverage between the two. Otherwise, they're just going to be going home probably in the second round this year.
Here's the crazy part about that Knicks thing, though, guys. When you fired Tom Thibodeau, I thought you fired Tom Thibodeau with the thought process of we upgraded coach, right? Or, you could go young with a younger coach and go, this guy can relate better to the players or something of that nature. They went with Mike Brown. And I'm a Mike Brown fan, but is Mike Brown a better coach than Tibbs? I would say no. He might, at best, he's as good, but he's certainly not a better coach than Tibbs. So they didn't upgrade. What is Mike Brown? A nicer version of Tibbs? Like, I'm just saying, like, you're still going to have the same roster. And unless you're telling me we're taking the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands and we're going to do some different things, you're going to run into the same problems. Brett just brought it up. Mike Brown does a lot of things, but he's not known for coaching defense. That's not what he does. And so you bring him in there, they're still going to target Brunson and Cat. That doesn't change. So I'm trying to figure out where Mike Brown overall is going to be an upgrade.
I think two reasons. The first point is what Keith said. He's not running his players into the ground. That's the first thing. He'll come up with an established rotation, I think. And number two, you bring up a good point about him because he's never been a good defensive coach. Go back and look at his earlier stops. He's never been a great defensive coach. They may be looking for an upgrade on the offensive side of the basketball, and with his how-to on help bringing up guards, I think that might be best for Brunson, so to speak. But yeah, defensively, this team is going to look completely different than they did last year. Completely different.
They weren't good defensively last year, which is weird because Tibbs is known as a defensive coach. And if you've got OG and you've got Bridges, who are supposed to be elite wing defenders, you would think, along with a guy like Josh Hart, that they would be really good on the perimeter, but they weren't that good on the perimeter. So I don't know. Like I said, I know Mike Brown. He's better on offense. Go look at his last stop in Sacramento. They were fun to watch,
Oh yeah.
but they
But
were
winning.
fun, but they were fun to watch because the other team scored 120 a night too, because they're not going to stop anybody.
Yep.
So I think the Knicks are going to be entertaining. But if you're telling me they're going to go on a deeper playoff run than they did last year, I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't see that. I think if what they did well in the offseason was they did add some depth. They went out and they added some much needed depth. But if you're telling me they're going to go on a deeper run because Boston is not a title contender, because Indiana's not in their way anymore, I think that just means now Orlando's in their way. Now Detroit's in their way. And those are young, hungry, talented teams.
And see, you went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. That's gonna be expectations, because now the Knicks fan base are gonna expect either that or better. And I don't know if the Knicks can meet that. Yes, you did sign Jordan Clarkson. That's a good pickup.
Great.
But I don't know if they meet even last year's standard of the Eastern Conference Final. I don't think they do.
Well, that's a great point. And you know how New York is. I'm talking about the city of New York and the fan base. If they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, Mike Brown's the worst coach in the NBA.
Yep. Off rip.
Right.
Off rip.
Off the rip, they're gonna be like, we should have never. They will flip it so quick and go, we miss Tibbs. We need Tibbs back. Why did we ever let go of Tibbs?
Yep.
So you'll have Stephen A on ESPN doing his Kwame rant, except on Mike Brown calling him a certified bum. This dude can't coach. I do like it's funny, and I do it's interesting because I know that Mike Brown ran a lot of like different motion offense, and that's what he kind of likes to do. I think it'll be interesting because I know a lot of people are like, well, he can just run the same stuff he did in Sacramento.
No, you can't.
But you don't have Sabonis.
Unless you're bringing Sabonis with you, you can't.
You can't.
Like, you can't just put Cat on the elbow and run him like Sabonis, because those are two completely different skill sets. So
that's not Cat's game.
If you try to force it on him, like, I think that's what he's going to do, Brett, right? So Cat will start averaging like 5 assists, but he's also going to average like 5 or 6 turnovers. Like, that's not in his comfort zone. You can't. I don't think you can run that, and you definitely can't run the motion offense with Mitchell Robinson on the floor.
Nope.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. It's like, I think Cat can get you to like 5 assists, and it's just all right. Just don't look at the turnovers, but he has 5 assists. That's really good. Say that. Can Jaylen Brown lead a Tatumless team to a playoff berth?
Nope.
I mean, yeah,
I think so. I'm actually
playoff berth. I thought he said championship berth. My bad. Yeah, he can.
I think Jaylen Brown,
can.
Derek White, a couple of the additions that they made. I do think. Look, basketball isn't just about ability; it's about chemistry. It's about playing style. One of the least athletic teams in history, the Utah Jazz, routinely were in the playoffs, and they were not. They were not star-studded at all. I think you put a healthy Jaylen Brown with the rest of that roster, I think they're going to be in the playoffs.
Don't do that to Byron Russell. That man was talented as hell. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the 2020 Utah Jazz teams that kept making the playoffs with like Bojan Bogdanovic and Derek Favors in the rotation.
I remember them. Blast of the past, boy. I remember them. Don't forget Greg Ostertag.
Shit! Shout out to the living legend Greg Ostertag.
Greg Ostertag. But I think Boston would be fine, going to the playoffs. But a championship, I think, is out of question. But getting to the playoffs, they can do that.
And I think they're playing with house money, right, Will? Because they're coming into this season, and the expectation isn't finals, right? Nobody's going. The Celtics are probably going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yep. I think this is going to be a really fun season for Coach Mazzulla. A fun season for Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's going to play with a freedom that he probably hasn't played with. I think he's going to have a big season individually. Watch Boston overachieve and let them upset somebody that they shouldn't upset. Like, don't sleep on the Celtics. I think they are a playoff team, and I think they're that playoff team you don't want to see in the first round.
If they manage to upset somebody like Cleveland or Orlando, yeah, they can definitely cause some noise. And shout out to them for signing Joe Mazzulla to that extension too.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for doing that. That's
Well
huge.
done.
You need that stability. You need that stability on a team who's lost as much as they have.
No, absolutely. So I want to ask a little NFL questions. Obviously, we just had week 1 in preseason. Is there any players or teams that surprised you or disappointed you? Because I know I get the boat rolling on this one. I know one of the most disappointing teams from this weekend were my Packers. That was hard to watch, but
No, you don't get to talk disappointment. You don't get. I get to talk disappointment. You don't get to talk disappointment. I get to talk disappointment. Doggone it. That's me all day, every day. Your Packers are looking like world beaters compared to what my Saints look like. But yeah, the Saints were a disappointment. My shot was the play of Trey Lance. I'm happy to see that brother do well. I know it's preseason, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it. But I was kind of happy to see him play well because I thought he was dealt a bad hand. Yeah, you got picked in the draft to the 49ers. Couldn't beat out Brock Purdy. They traded you to Dallas. Couldn't beat out Dak, of course. So I'm just saying, man. I think it's good to see him do well. Like I say, it's preseason, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it. But yeah, I'm kind of happy to see him do a little something. And of course, I'm happy to see Shador.
I think you should be happy for Trey Lance, but let's be fair. Him not being able to beat out the last guy picked in the draft, that's about him.
It is.
You couldn't beat out a guy that y'all drafted where you was like, don't worry about Purdy, he'll be gone after week 1. Like, he was the last player picked in the draft.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Like you couldn't beat that guy out.
Yep.
That's about you. Look, Trey Lance should have never been drafted as high as he did. The only reason John Lynch still has a job is because Brock Purdy came out of nowhere.
Yep.
That saved John Lynch because the Trey Lance situation was that bad. Look, I don't root against guys like Trey Lance. I think it's a great sports story if he's able to turn things around and become a legitimate contributor on an NFL team. I root for stories like that.
Yep.
So to me, I look at your Saints more like this, Will. Because you have a lot of young players. To me, this is a great season for development. It's a developmental year, right? You're gonna find out the young players going forward that are going to be part of your franchise, and you're gonna find out who's the dead weight that you guys need to let go of.
Oh yeah.
Hey, listen. Say Tyler Shuck did have like a 50-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, but he also threw a pick 6.
You know what? Yeah,
keep things even.
Keep things even.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
And your boy Spencer Rattler looked like a deer in headlights out there.
I felt so bad for Jordan Love. Listen, people are like thrashing, Jordan Love because the stat line said 1 for 5. But when you're 1 for 5 with 3 drop passes and the wide receivers look like they hadn't seen a jug machine or a football in their life, like the only receiver that looked like he was ready to play was our first round pick with Golden. Like he looked like he was ready to play. But
Golden's gonna be a good one.
He's gonna be nasty, Brett. Y'all got a good one.
And he's gonna we've already seen injuries in that wide receiver room all last season. He's gonna get a chance to step up and contribute. That's gonna be a bad boy right there.
He's got the wow factor, Brett. Like there might be guys that are a little bit more polished or better route runners, but he's the guy that if he catches the ball in space, he's gonna make a lot of people miss and take it to the house.
I like the way that the Packers are built too, because you got a good running game, you got a good tight end, Tucker. They got a good team. Defense is decent this year. Offensive line is looking pretty good from what I saw. So yeah, they got a chance to make some noise in that division.
I think the Packers win that division.
They could.
I'm putting it out there. Hot take from Mo. Top take from Mo. Detroit takes a step back. Caleb Williams and company fall flat, Green Bay wins that division outright.
They could. They very well could. They very well could.
Oh yeah, you know what? I like that. At the end of the day, I think I'm not going to overreact to week 1 of preseason, considering half the starters weren't playing. We did get obviously the reps with the first team offense that we just couldn't catch a pass, but the Packers do this every year. Obviously, like a couple of years ago, we started out the season getting thrashed like 38-3 to Will Saints, and we always seem to in either week 1 or 2 every year just get slaughtered, and then we that's like the wake up call we need. So maybe the Packers just got the wake up call that they needed early.
End of the day, it's preseason. Preseason is not for winning or losing, in my opinion. Preseason again is like what Mo was saying. It's about development. See what your young kids got and can build on, and see what they can do to contribute. So at the end of the day, that's what preseason is about. It's like summer league and basketball even. That's even less important in terms of win or losses or winning a championship, because these are young guys. These are young players trying to make an impact. So summer league, I really don't put a whole lot into. Same thing with the NFL preseason, I don't put a whole lot into. Yeah, you're happy for Shedeur and everything that he did, but let's see if he can build upon that games 2, 3, and the rest of the season.
Agreed. I don't care about the wins and losses in the preseason. I'm caring about that 5th round or 6th round pick who is playing better than the 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yep.
But who might actually contribute to your team immediately. Though that's what the preseason is about to me. Who can play? Who can contribute? Do I hang on to this 11-year veteran, or is this rookie who I should roll with right now? Like, that's what it comes down to. Those kind of competitions. That's what makes me excited about preseason football.
Oh,
and more importantly, nobody getting hurt. No injury.
Oh yeah. Jerry, I'm still trying to figure out what is with you and this Ravens hate. I'm still trying to figure that out. Why do you hate the Ravens?
Hey, you know what? I think we should do the opposite. We should absolutely overreact preseason. Listen, Tanner McKee and Darius Cooper are the next Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Hey, look here. I told Gene yesterday I'll take Tanner McKee over anybody the Saints got right now. Let's go.
Will is not optimistic about this season.
Heck no. We might get 3 games.
I'd say they're gonna win like 5 games, and we'll be like, well, that's like 4 more wins than I had to beg for. So good season, guys. Yeah.
5 games, that's a successful season.
Yeah, they say
hey, what about man? Hey. Dad, you know, good me what the Hornets ain't doing. Man, get out of here. With that roster? No.
Well, the first thing the Hornets need to do is have LaMelo Ball stop being a part-time player.
Facts.
That man just keeps using all his vacation days early.
I got my
Chris.
What's up, Chris? What's going on, man?
What's good, Chris?
What's going on?
I will say that I do think that this Giants, the one team I was really looking at was the Giants. Maybe because I was really excited to see Abdul Carter, who played 6 snaps, and yeah, that kid's a freak of nature. He was going up against the starting left tackle and Deion Dawkins, and he was just absolutely bodying Deion, like with a full array of like nice little crossover inside to beat him on the first rep. And
stop it, Cal. Stop.
Next, he tried to play inside, and Abdul Carter just bend it around the corner. Like that kid's a freak of nature. And this Giants team, I would be so much higher on them if they didn't have the worst schedule in the NFL.
I'm excited to see that front 7, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. That's gonna be a lot of fun. They're gonna cause a lot of havoc.
Oh yeah. That team, that won't be no gimme. The secondary might not be that great, but that front 7. Whew.
If the offense can at least put together a drive or 2 here and there, then I agree with you guys about the defense. Look, you can have the greatest defense on earth, but if they play that too many snaps, even
Right.
the best defense eventually cracks and breaks. The offense doesn't have to be an elite offense, but it does have to be a competent offense.
Right.
And I worry about the Giants that over the course of this season, you're going to see all of their quarterbacks. And if you see all of their quarterbacks, that's not a good sign, right?
That's a bad thing.
Oh, that's the one thing I was disappointed in the preseason watching the Giants. No Russ Moon balls. That first drive was literally him just checking it down to Tyrone Tracy every single chance he got. Reverend Jameis will be doing a lot of preaching with that schedule. Yeah.
You got but hold on now. Hold on. We hadn't talked about Malik Neighbors yet. Hold up now. I like Malik.
I think Malik Neighbors is great. Now you just got to get the franchise quarterback to pair with him.
Yep.
And to his credit, Jackson Dart looked really good against the Bills.
He did. And here's the thing that makes me upset, because it was being reported the Saints was going to pick him up before the Giants did. Listen, New Orleans, you do realize you can possibly move up to get the player that you want. You do realize that, right? You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
You could have moved up to get the player that you want. You just didn't want to give up compensation to move up for that player.
Yeah, because the last time they did that, they ended up with Marcus Davenport.
Woo!
And you see how that worked out. That's a good point. They did move up to get him.
Yeah, the only reason I remember that is I believe that was the year that we drafted Jair because we moved back, gave you guys the pick for Davenport.
Yep.
Then we picked like Jair at 19.
It's the picks you make or don't make that can make or break a front office. Well, I will say this. Let me ask you guys this question. We already know what the Giants ownership, with the mandate they gave Daboll, make the playoffs or you fired. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. Playoffs or fired.
Yep.
Let's say the offense is better than people think. The defense lives up to the expectations, but they win 8 games. And maybe they lose a couple of other really close games. Do you think Daboll gets a reprieve, or they go by the mandate and he's still fired?
I think with this schedule, if Daboll wins 8 games, they should probably just build a statue of him outside the stadium, and that's not anything against the Giants, roster. I think the Giants roster is actually improving, but this is just such a brutal schedule. So I genuinely think if this team wins 8 or 9 games in the first year post Daniel Jones, I would give him another year. I'd maybe give him another 2 years just to see what happens.
Because you can make an argument he overcoached with that schedule. You can make the argument he overcoached with that schedule. Yeah, I would give him another year on that.
And got Daniel Jones to a playoff game. I'll give him some credit. That must have been mission impossible to do.
I'm still mad at Daniel Jones for messing up that touchdown run.
The funny part is they won the playoff game too. That team somehow made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Yep. That was crazy. That was just crazy.
Their whole season is going to come down to their offensive line play.
Yep.
If the offensive line is a cohesive, solid unit, I think the Giants' offense can be a comparable offense. The only question is, are you going to get good Russ, or are you going to get erratic Russ, which means you're going to get Jameis, which that starts off erratic. That's going to be erratic. Right. Jameis is going to throw for 350, 3 touchdowns. He's also going to throw for 3 pick sixes. So do you want to ride that roller coaster, or at some point do you hand the reins over to Jackson Dart?
Remember, this is a dude, 30 touchdowns, 30 INTs in one season. Let's not forget that.
Nobody will ever say that Jameis Winston isn't incredibly talented, but when it comes to looking a receiver down and reading defense, that's not one of his gifts. Those aren't his gifts.
Listen, another thing.
Go ahead.
But I'm about to say another thing that's concerning to me. I'm not a big Tyrone Tracy fan, so I sort of kind of question the Giants' running game. But we'll see what they can do. Like I said, a lot of it is contingent on the offensive line.
Yeah, if they can get good offensive line play, then I think they're going to be in position to win some games that you wouldn't expect them to win.
Jury, the man had LASIK.
Yeah.
So he had LASIK, Jury. Mine is a hippo. Hungry hippo.
Say, and the Colts, by the way,
me this morning.
and yes, the Colts absolutely do have a problem. I'm tired. You know what's funny? I'm tired of like the narrative that
Jerry say he still can't see. He need a refund. Dang, Jerry. He need a refund. Oh my goodness.
You know what's funny about like the Colts? I'm kind of tired of seeing this narrative. Like a lot of people are trying to put Anthony Richardson getting knocked out on the offensive line. And that's funny to me because there's some people saying, well, the offensive line should have seen that and picked it up. And I think a lot of people miss the job of part of the job of being a quarterback is reading the coverage and pressure and rolling the protection.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Richardson had to know, like, they had three guys on the weak side of the line. Like, you either have to move the protection or you just got to get it out hot. Like, that's got to be an immediate, quick check down to the running back or tight end. Both of them went nobody within 5 yards of them. So, but he made the wrong read, and not only did he not get it out quick, he dropped back and held that ball, knowing that there was going to be a free rusher in his face, and he just kind of got himself killed. So, and then Daniel Jones, that was bad. I'm sorry. It's like year like what 27, and you still are staring down your old first read. Like
that's crazy. I still think though with Anthony Richardson, and this is where I agree with Gene. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. I think his claim to fame could be as a gadget guy, kind of like the Taysom Hill role, somewhat, because he is athletic. He has good speed. But as far as a quarterback, let's just end this experiment because he's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think he could even be Taysom Hill because Taysom Hill actually has running back instincts. Anthony Richardson runs straight up. He runs upright. If that's your running style, you're not going to last at all. He is a bullseye for any defender once he takes off because he has straight line speed, but he can't make anybody miss. He got no wiggle in his body. Yeah. So I if he's not going to be a quarterback, he's not going to be a gadget guy. If he's not going to be a quarterback, he'll probably be a really good sports agent.
And he got that 33 mil guaranteed.
Mo, you wouldn't even put him on special teams, Mo.
Why waste a roster spot?
I was gonna say I'm not even sure what he would do on special teams.
Oh man,
get cardio, run him down.
Mostly he just out the league. I'm trying to get a man a chance to do something. He just out the league. Oh my goodness.
Like there you go. Give me your designated Hail Mary quarterback.
But you know what though? I blame the Colts on this because you knew when you drafted him he was a project. You knew that off the rip. And it's a project that's not working out. And when you take somebody that high, it has to be a sure thing. It has to be a sure bet. You can't take a pick that high and for it to not work out. You can't. And that was their mistake. And now they're paying for it. So
they saw that guy in the combines and he wowed them. Like he's the combine baby, right?
Yep.
And everything that he did at the combines just blew the doors off a lot of people. Look, he is a physical freak, but that doesn't mean it translates into you being a good quarterback. It doesn't.
Right.
And the Colts just they could have made a safe pick and they went for the wow factor. And when you miss like this, those are the kind of whiffs that cost your franchise 5, 6, 7 years. Like they're that epic effect, and it's a trickle down effect. I think they have one of the best running backs in football, and Jonathan Taylor. But if there's no threat of the pass, when you play the Colts, what do? You play 8, 9 men in the block, and Jonathan Taylor takes a beating every game because nobody fears the pass. And
this is why Jonathan Taylor ends up being hurt throughout the season. every year he misses 2-3 games due to injury. If the pass game was a little bit better, maybe he'll be fresher.
I mean, a little bit better. I just need the pass game to like exist first, and like
Right.
It's not like they don't have receivers, and that's the thing that
They
kills
do.
me.
They
You got
do.
you got Pittman Jr. there, you got Downs there. They got good receivers.
they at this point they might as well throw a jug machine out there and
Mhm.
it would have the same desired impact. Like if
Exactly.
you need somebody to lob a ball to the other team's safety, like I'm sure that can do it for you for cheaper.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's the problem with like drafting on pure like potential. I think a lot of people sometimes miss in the draft that like you still need production on the court, and you can't just draft somebody based on what they could be. That's how you end up with like Anthony Richardson going for. Ooh, say that's how you, for lack of a better example, that's how you end up with guys like Patrick Williams going at number 4 in the draft.
It
Like,
wouldn't get me started on Patrick Williams.
say like you just can't project guys to do something that they have never done.
Don't
All
even get me
because
started.
the funny part is they'll be like, well, you see Josh Allen and Cam Newton, and I'm like, it's just kind of like, well, like one, yeah, those guys are just absolutely like developmental outliers. You can't draft a guy because Josh Allen just happened to develop one way. Like,
Right. I just think when you look at a guy like Richardson, and you know project players can't be first, second round, fourth, fifth. Okay, take a chance. But your picks 1 and 2, no, you got to have sure things.
You know what? But if you really look at it upon further review,
Mhm.
Shador was taken in the 5th round. I feel safe in saying Shador is better than Anthony Richardson right
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah, I'm
like,
there too.
Like not
I'm
even
there
close,
too.
just better. And,
I'm there
and,
too.
and he was taken 5th round. You know what I
But
mean?
he
Like
should.
I
But
don't
he
know if
should
I
have
would
been a
take
fifth round
Anthony.
pick.
Yeah, facts, but I don't know if I would even take Anthony Richardson in the 5th round.
Man, don't even, man, Kyle, stop it, stop it, just stop it, Kyle, just stop it. Patrick Williams is terrible, but for some reason,
You guys drafted him going 20 and 10. He gonna be 20 and 10. He gonna be they drafted Patrick Williams like he was gonna be the next Dirk. He gonna be Dirk.
no, he ain't.
I saw the player comps like on drafting, like, oh, they think he can be the next Kawhi Leonard. I'm like,
Man,
who's gonna be Kawhi Leonard?
what made you? What made them see that? And see, that's a perfect example right there. My Chicago Bulls. You can't miss on these draft picks in the first round, man.
You guys thought you was gonna draft the franchise player, and y'all drafted Giannis's brother. The Bulls drafted Thanasis.
and then go and look at this year's draft. Derek Queen was right there for the taking, right there. And what did you do? What did you do? Go overseas to an unproven player who needs to gain weight, who needs to gain muscle. Look, he's not gonna be Giannis, y'all. He's not gonna be Giannis. Come on now. You
Y'all
can't miss on this lottery.
You draft some dude that you might have to store away for a couple of years.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, listen, the Bulls are going to be living vicariously through Montez Buzelis hoops for the next couple of years, and that could be fun. They can have some fun flashes. Say, you know what? Just think though, if there's any player you don't want, you can probably find a way to trade him to the Kings. They seem to like taking your old players.
Facts. That's true. That's true.
Say Patrick Williams for DeMar DeRozan swap. Who says no?
We don't want DeMar back. No. You had to get off DeMar. You have to get off DeMar. You had to.
Look, I think DeMar's had a really good career. I'm not gonna kill DeMar. I think DeMar's been a guy that because of his skill set, he's better off as your second or third option.
Right.
But I don't think he's been even in his prime. Even when he was in Toronto, I knew DeMar DeRozan couldn't be the best player on a title contender.
Right.
When people were talking about, well, look at that team that the Cavaliers played with the Raptors and they beat DeRozan and Lowry. No knock against Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan. Those aren't two names that strike fear into the NBA world. Like, they're really good players, but if those are your two best players, you're not title contenders. You're playoff contenders. Big difference.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, I can't even blame them though, because being in the East at that time almost felt like being like in the East in the 90s. Like, you think you're making it out of the East, then you realize, Michael Jordan and the Bulls are right there. In the 2010s, you think you're making it out of the East, then you realize, oh, never mind, LeBron's not on my team, so I'm not making it out of the East.
I don't even think they thought they were making it out of the East. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this. There was one series they were playing the Cavaliers, and in between games, they benched DeRozan because he mentally he couldn't. He checked out. I mean, look, again, I get it. LeBron's, you're not taking that guy out, not in his prime, especially in the East. I look at where DeMar's come in his career. He's been a really good player for a really long time. It's funny because I would say that DeMar's career, it's probably on the same plane as Joe Johnson's career. Very good players, successful players. I don't know if either one of them get into the Hall of Fame. If off the top of my head, I would say no.
Joe would be a push. I think he'll be a push. He was good, but he wasn't great. And I think that's the thing that'll hold him back.
Both of them. Yeah. Both of them very good.
Joe will be that guy that if he does make it, it'll be like his last year on the ballot. They'll be like, yeah, you know what? We'll put this guy in. I love ISO Joe. One of the few players I think him and Tom Chambers are the only two players that have scored 20,000 that aren't in the Hall of Fame. So
that's criminal in Tom's case, though. That's criminal.
So you're saying when Joe gets in, they're gonna go accepting for Joe as his grandkids.
Oh man.
Said I would say, well, yeah. We were talking about it yesterday in a different chat too. We were debating how many different teams retire Kevin Durant's jersey. I think that's a interesting one. Is it just the two? Because I'm guessing, the Thunder eventually retire his along with Golden State.
I would agree with those two.
Yeah.
Stop right there. Stop there. You're not getting retired in Brooklyn, and you're not getting retired in Phoenix. You're getting forgotten about in Phoenix.
You just got about in Phoenix. Yeah.
And depending on what he does in Houston, same. He would have to win a title in Houston. Anything short of that, they're not going to retire his number.
Oh yeah.
No, absolutely. It's funny. I didn't realize how passionate some Thunder fans are still like about the decision. Because we were talking about that, and we had a Thunder fan in the chat, and he was going, "Man, we should retire KD's number." I'm like, guys, you retire Nick Collison's number. Like, it's gonna happen.
Brother Nick.
They're still mad that he left, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, that was a decade ago. Like, there's no way you're still that mad over like that.
He left, but he did leave for a good reason. He said he wanted to win a title. I don't think he and Russ were going to win a title together. I'm not saying he had to go to Golden State, but he wasn't going to win a title where he was.
Yeah, I don't think that team would have won either. I really don't. I don't think that team would have won.
Sam Presti was really bad at team building during those years. Ironically, like, he was nailing the draft, but then he would turn around and be like, "Yeah, who are we going to spend money on? Okay, we need Big Perk. We need 100-year-old Thabo Cephalosha, like 37-year-old Derek Fisher."
Stop it, Cal. Stop it. Just stop it. After Perk. Oh yeah, man. No, I mean, we talking about the same dude that said Chris Paul is not in his top 10 of point guards. The same dude got a job at ESPN saying this. Blasphemy.
Hey, you know what? They might as well retire Perk's number. Listen, it was his locker room, according to him. So
Remember, this is coming from the man that averaged 5 points a game. I'm just kidding. I think he averaged more than that. I think he averaged more than that.
in the
Memory
words
serves.
of KD, our center averaged 2 points and 3 rebounds a game. But hey, you hustled hard, champ.
True leader in the locker room.
That's all he was there for. One of my favorite things about Perk being on the Thunder is we were at like the tail end of the NBA thinking that you had to give your center a post-up touch a game at least just to reward him. So like you're just watching, you're like, oh, I can't wait to see Russ, I can't wait to see KD, but we're gonna start off the game with a quick post-up for Perk. I'm like, I don't need to see this even once. Please stop this.
Yeah, Perk was the Bill Cartwright of the Thunder.
Oh, hey, listen, I feel like we should go back to that. Let's give the centers at least a couple post-ups a game to reward them. Although, granted, that's how guys like, the Knicks paid a couple of guys they shouldn't have in the mid-2000s because that happened.
Fact. I agree.
Oh, man. Hey, it's already been an hour. That was a lot of fun, guys.
That went fast.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Say, anything you guys want to add before we get up on audio? Oh, my, not you.
I think he just said it all.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate the chat. Love the energy from the chat, especially Kyle and Jury. You guys were cooking today. Thank you guys so much for feeding off that energy. Appreciate everybody that's joining us from whatever platform you're joining us on. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you guys.
Later, guys.
Absolutely. And from myself and Peanut, we thank you for tuning in. And we will see you later tonight on the Meaty Boys podcast.